Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about the pens that impressed me in the second half of this year of 2019. I've showed a video similar to this one in the middle of the year, and now I have to show you the pens that I got since then and that really impressed me. This time I will make this as a kind of a ranking. I think it's nice to do that. And I'm showing them for the characteristics that impressed me. So in this ranking you may see some pens compared that are really different from each other. You have from very inexpensive Chinese pens to more expensive German or Italian pens. This is just to give you an idea of what I'm going to show you right now. And the first pen that I have to show you is this one. This is number 8 in this top 8 ranking, and this is the, let me show you this way, the MSBH, which means May Simplicity Be Happy 1. This is the name of the pen, MSBH-1 pen. This is a pen from China that has a semi-hooded nib, and I have to say this is really good nib, and it is a cartridge converter pen, very simple, but when you look at this you may remind of the Lamy 2000 when you see it in the steel version. I have to say that you may remember of that pen. I have to say also that I've seen this pen for the first time at another YouTube channel, which is called Fountain Pen Journey, and I thought I need to have this pen, and I did have it for several reasons, because it is another Chinese pen, and there are usually some inexpensive pens that we can try and make videos and think about pens and the concept of pens, and also because it really reminds me of the Lamy 2000 steel. And here you have the Lamy 2000 steel. And yes, you may think at first glance they are similar, but when you open the pens and you look at them and you see the materials and the filling systems and everything else, you may get to think otherwise. I wouldn't say this is an imitation whatsoever of the Lamy 2000. We have to think about I'll just pick up 3 different aspects that we can see in these pens. This is made of steel, this is made of aluminum, this is a piston filler, this is a cartridge converter filler, this has a gold nib, and this one has a steel nib. So quite different pens. But this is something that I will talk more about it when I will do the review of this pen. I still didn't do it yet. And when I start my series of videos about fakes, clones and imitations of or inspirations on another fountain pens. I really am preparing a series of videos about this because I think this is a very interesting topic to talk about. Not to talk about in a moral way, saying that it's wrong or right to do some kind of inspirations or imitations, but I think it's wise for us to think objectively about the relations between design and function in different pens. So, about this is very sturdy, very reliable. The nib writes really well. As far as I know, it is a Jowo nib. It's a great pen and quite inexpensive, and I have to say that it's much more robust than the comparable Lamy 2000, because these won't break on you as easily as this one did. So this is the number 8 on the ranking. Let's go for number 7. And this is pen number 7. And this is the Hero 565 in green color. This is another Chinese pen, the second of 3 in this ranking. it has a very simple design. It costs very cheap. It is less than €5. It is €4.50 or something like that. So very good price. And it has a kind of design that is very simple, I would say, and it falls between the design of a Schiffer and a Parker 51, I would say. When we uncap this pen, we get to see a hooded nib with a metal insert there, and it then reminds us more of the Parker 61 than of the Parker 51. But this is really a very interesting pen. It has a nice color, it has a slip cap, very similar with the Parker, but it is not an imitation, it doesn't have the arrow clip or anything like that. It has a filling system which is not the most exciting one. It is an aerometric filling system, but it fills decently. You don't have a big, massive fill, but you have a decent fill. And you have a wonderful nib on this pen. This is really smooth and the flow is real good. When I look at older Chinese pens, I find most of them to be quite narrow, scratchy, and sometimes with a very poor flow. This one has a very, how can I say? I can say it has a very heavy flow for such a fine nib. I think it is a true fine nib and with a very good flow. It's a nice pen, I really like it, it's very cheap, and one good thing about it, it is girthy. It's nice to hold. When you look it next to a Parker 51, it is wider than a Parker 51. It is very nice, and if you like to use pens posted, it becomes a real decent size, and also the design is quite good. So I have to say that this is one of the pens that impressed me more on the second half of 2019. And let's move on. In this top 8, we have at position number 6 this pen, and although it looks like a Parker Dufold, it is not. It is a Moonman 600S, and if you are talking about cloning or such a thing, yes, this one is very, very similar. It has all the same elements, even the arrow clip, it just misses the medallion on top, and then the nib is not arrow nib, but it is arrow nib or the Ace of Spades nib. But I would say this is a very interesting pen, and I really like it. And let's forget, as I told you before, let's forget about the moral thing about being a copy or not. This pen is quite good. This Moonman M600S is a great pen. It has a great size. I really like the size of the size and shape of the Parker Dufold, and this is a pen that you can have from China for around €25. So it's much less expensive than a Parker Dufold, and this is a way that you can try a different pen with a different feel. This pen, a different feel, not a filling system, but the feel of the pen. It is really good with good materials, and I'm really impressed with this pen, and this finish is beautiful, the brown one. I like so much that this pen and the Dufold, just let me show you here a Centennial Dufold next to it, very similar pens. This one is gorgeous, but they are very similar, and I like them so much that I got 6 of the finishes of these pens. However, currently there are 8 finishes. 2 more were released, more transparent ones, but I have to really be able to control my collection and to control my funding to be sure that I can get several different pens to my channel to review them, and so I have to make a balance between that, and I was not able to buy the other 2. However, there is here quite a significant sample of what this model is. And this is a great pen, and if you like to use a very good number 6 nib, this is really good, really well tuned. It is a F nib, but it writes extremely well. If you want to have a kind of, and this may be blasphemy, but if you want to have the kind of feeling that you get out of a Parker dual-fold pen, you can cheaply try this version. It's that good. However, here you get a very special feel about what is a Parker nib, but you have here a very good replica and will give you lots of pleasure in a very pleasant writing experience. So this is one of the pens that most impressed me. And now I'm moving away from China and going towards Germany and to Kaweco. This pen is a Kaweco Art Sport. The color is called metallic green, and it is the generation 3 of the Kaweco Art Sport, which is a different line of Kaweco Sport that is made out of acrylics, and they are turned acrylics and not molded parts. Very good pen, and the acrylics are made by Visconti. So this is a very interesting pen. I would say that I know by now modern Kaweco Sport pens so well that it is hard for me to be really surprised, but I think that this one surprised me because the kind of look it has with this green finish is very similar to the pen of the generation 2 Art Sport, that is the Lapis. I know that in this color on camera this looks like purplish, but it is not. It is real blue. I can't get these fix the white balance, but this is, let me put some shade on it. It really is blue, like you see now, not like this, but like this. When it is in shade, I can show it better. So I would say that these pens are really similar, they match together, and this is one of my favorite colors so far. So this is also one of my favorite colors from now on. This is more expensive, about 150 or 60 euros for a steel nib pen and a small pocket pen, but it's really nice. I'm still searching for a lot more of these Generation 3 Art Sport. There are some that are more difficult to find, but I guess I have the more difficult to find ones. However, I don't have the funds to get all of them. It's not because I can't find them, it's because I cannot afford them, at least so far, but I'm working on that. So this is one of the pens that most impressed me. And as number 4, we have the Benu Supreme New Year Limited Edition. This is a pen that I received for review purposes from Benu. It is a limited edition, as it is said in the name of the pen. It is number 30 of 300. It has a very beautiful emerald green, very well made. I made a review of these, you can check it. And this material is stunning. Maybe this is a little too flamboyant for some of us to use, but I'm really enjoying using these. There are some people that look at me when I write with this pen at work, but I write with so many different pens at work, so it's kind of normal that people look at me. I really like this pen. It is very well made, and it has a number 6 nib, and this number 6 nib is made by Schmidt. They usually have their nibs made by Schmidt, and it writes very, very smoothly. I have here now the Benu. This is the Hexagon F, which is a much it's a regular line, and I would say that this is a very discreet pen when compared with that one. It also has a Schmidt nib, but this one has a number 6, and this is a number 5, and this is a number 6. So this is a nice evolution, a very beautiful pen, very interesting. As you may see, I think it's still available on their website, and I really like it. if I had to change something about this pen, would be that I would love to see the branding of Benu on the nib instead of Schmidt, the generic brand nib. But this is one of the pens that impressed me the most. Now let's move on to the top 3. And we will keep ourselves in Germany while we show you the number 3. The pen number 3 is this one, and this is the Graf von Faber-Castell Intuition Terra. The Terra is the name of the color, which is like a terracotta color. It is a very beautiful pen, very interesting design, and I really like it. I've been looking at this pen since I saw it being released a few years ago in a big store here in Lisbon. But I could not afford to buy it then. But this year I saw someone selling it for a very nice price in a used condition, and I had to get it. I really like these Graf von Faber-Castell pens. They are beautifully made, and this is a slip cap pen with a gold nib, very beautiful, and it has a very interesting system to take the section out. You unscrew the back of the nib of the pen, this kind of knob, you unscrew it, and then you can take the section out and to replace the converter, the cartridge, or to fill up the converter. Then you just need to do this. So when we are talking about section, almost what we have there is only that little part, and it has really no section. It has just this nice shape. It is a very nice pen, good size, good girth. It's beautiful pen, and I think this is the most interesting feature, not to have the section separated from the pen. I think in the overall design it reminds us of a more classic Graf von Faber-Castell pen that I already have in my collection, but this is, in my opinion, much nicer in terms of design. The part that I like the most is the section being like this, so not being a real section, and the nib. That I would love just it was a number 6 nib, and it is not, it's more like a number 5. And this will lead us to the top 2. The pen that got the second place in this top 8 was this one. And this is also from Germany, and it is a Kaweco, also with a gold nib. This is a Kaweco Special, and it is a pen from the 30s. As far as I could find out, this was a pen made for the foreign market, for export. So it has a button filler instead of a piston filler, and it is a beautiful pen. This pen was bought from eBay from Italy, and it was described as a new old stock pen. And I really believe it, because when I received, I put it all apart. It just had the brittle sack inside, and there was no residue of ink nowhere on the pen. So I really believe this was a new old stock. All the things in the pen are nice, and I also love this kind of celluloid. It is so beautiful. I love, and I just noticed something that I didn't notice before. There is a marking there, an engraving like a 90 or a 06. This is a very beautiful silvery pattern. This is just beautiful. I really like this kind of finish. There is some oxidation to the clip and to the ring band, and I think that's normal, and also some discoloration on the extremities, which are made of ebonite. But this is a beautiful pen, and I have to say that this pen reminds me a lot of one of the pens that is also my favorite, one of my favorites ever, which is the Parker Challenger Deluxe, which is a pen from almost the same time, also a button filler, also with such a beautiful material, beautiful nibs. So I would say they are very similar pens in their own way. And this one also has a flex C. I don't know if it's a flex nib, that's hard definition, but I would say it has a flexi nib, so you can get some line variation with this. I will do a review of this pen soon. I just regret that I got the pen and the same day I got it apart and I immediately replaced the sack to be able to write with it the next day. I just regret to doing that because I was so excited that I didn't remember of making a restoration video, and that would be a useful thing for the channel, but I was so anxious to get this beautiful little thing working. It is a little pen that's characteristic, but it happens in other Kaweco pens, but when we post it, it becomes a real full size, and I don't need to say it again, I love this pen. So it's number 2. Now let's see the pen that got the number 1 on this top 8. And the first pen on this top 8 ranking of the pens that impressed me the most in the second half of 2019, we have here the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande Dark Hawaii fountain pen. A very long name. So this is a pen that I think it is beautiful. It has a very beautiful and vintage design to it. A very beautiful material. It is engraved with a serial number, not a limited edition, but this material is just wonderful. I love it so much. It is the Momento Zero Grande because when you look it next to the Momento Zero, and this one was featured on my favorite pens, or the pens that impressed me the most in the first half of this year. It is a bigger pen and it has a slimmer clip and it has more rings, so it adds a nice and vintage look to this model. It has a number 6 nib. This one is made of steel. It is available as a, I'm trying to focus there, not easy. It is also available as a gold nib, and this is such a beautiful pen. There is some ink on top of the nib, that's normal, and it has an ebonite feed instead of the ABS plastic on this one. This ebonite feed gives a perfect flow to the nib. Also, it is a piston filler and it takes much more ink than this cartridge converter one. But I think that this pen is approaching what I believe is a perfect for a fountain pen when we imagine it. So I really love this pen. I'm really impressed, and I'm so impressed. Even though this is not the cheapest pen around, I may be willing to get a Leonardo Momento Zero Grande, the Sand. And the Sand edition is a pen that's like sand color, like the color of this background. I'm really fascinated about that, and I think I'll need to get that one. Beautiful pen. So, as you can see, in this top 8 we have pens from many places and shapes and sizes. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate that you come here to see me day after day. See me, you don't see me actually, you see my pens, but you come here to talk with me, let's say it that way, and to see my pens, my videos, to hear my thoughts. And if you do like these, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be very grateful. I'm thinking about doing this same kind of video, like a wrapping up of the year of 2019, talking about the pens that impressed me the most, like making a fusion between or a fusion of the 2 videos of this year, the videos of the pens that impressed me in the first half and the ones that impressed me on the second half of 2019. And so, this is it. This is all for today. I hope to see you soon and have nice holidays and see you next time. Bye.